What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York, calling from the quarantine zone again, and this time we are here with Dead Register. It's great to have you all here.
Great being here.
Hello, we're here minus Randy today.
It's all good. It's all good. It's awesome to have you both here. This is a very unique interview, to say the least. The first thing I wanted to ask you is with the "Don't Fail Me" EP coming out. You have this single, "Don't Fail Me," but is this like a good representation of what the follow up to the Captive EP is going to sound like?
It's yes, the same kind of heavy, solemn, sad, hard hitting, crushing sound. Yes, we just figured the "Don't Fail Me" single we put out as a pretty much just a standalone with a bunch of really cool bonus material and made it into an EP to carry us over until we put out our full length, which is slated not to have this single on it. But yes, in the same, absolutely in the same vein, and yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what I've noticed is like
I think that
well, what I find unique about Dead Register is that like it really sounds like you have an experimental sound, but also a sound that I think really works well in your favor. Like I feel like the Fiber album is just as good as the Captive EP, and then the new single "Don't Fail Me" is also really, really beautiful. Do you try to experiment with your sound as much as possible, or do you try to kind of have like a formula that more or less defines Dead Register?
I would say it's an organic type of experimentation. I guess less experimentation, but more like a push. Like we do some small tweaks and we challenge ourselves a little bit when we write new music. But at the core of everything, we still want to sound like us in essence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yes.
I remember showing Dead Register to a couple friends of mine, and I don't know how you'll feel about this comparison. I think it's a compliment because I love this band. They say that you're a darker version of Interpol. That's the band that you kind of reminded them of.
We'll take it, and we'll take all of Interpol's fans, please, starting right now.
All right, we got the first Interpol fan on board.
Sweet.
Is every song, like you would say, kind of like representative of an emotion that you were all feeling at a particular time? Because I feel like going from a song like going to Fiber, for an example, going from a song like "Alone" to "Drawing Down" to "Grave" to "Entwined," it almost seems like there is a lot of emotional energy that's challenged into it. Is it representative of what all of you were particularly feeling at that time?
I say it's a mix. I think every one of us has a different take on how a particular song makes us feel. And I mean, I kind of feel that way about, art and music in general. It's like, well, everything is open to interpretation and it could change day to day, week to week, how I'm feeling about a particular song or other.
And as the lyricist and songwriter, I absolutely pull from my deep pool of emotional turmoil or et al. Yes, deeply emotional, but I like to leave the lyrics open just enough so it isn't super personal, so that it's can be interpreted by the listener. And I feel like it's way better than just going too deep into like calling. Wow, I'm stuttering today. I have not had my coffee jolt kick in, but yes, I like to leave it open and be a little bit ambiguous, but to complement the music and have the music and the lyrics just kind of swirl together and create emotion.
Does it ever begin?
Additional emotion.
Does it ever begin with a
Yeah.
preconceived idea? Like, does it ever start off with we want it to sound like this, or is there kind of like a lot of improvising and like a lot of trial and error involved?
I would say more of improvising and trial and error, and it's again it's more like an organic process. Like it might start off with like a riff and just grow from there, or like, oh, you might have a lyric or two in mind and you just kind of build around that. Or it's like, oh, what do we want to hear today? Do we want something slow and brooding? Do we want something a little bit chaotic? What's the general direction? Could be a combination of any of those things.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, I started a couple songs with very surf oriented riffs too. Just like, okay, this sounds like a classic surf song. Now let's turn this around and make it a Dead Register song instead of just a basic surf song.
well, what I like about your experimental sound is I think you easily avoid, because, and some people think that this is a good thing. I think it could sometimes be almost a hindrance in a way, but you don't want a Dead Register song to sound too much like a Dead Register song, right? Is that ever like a worry to you in a way?
Yes, we are constantly we have 5 or 6 new songs after our new album, which is also complete, that we're working on, and Randy's like, this song just sounds like a stupid Dead Register song.
Wow.
Can we fix this?
Well, hey,
yeah, it has all the things, it does all the Dead Register stuff, but it doesn't break any new ground. Like,
doesn't have the juice.
Yeah, so
has this time of isolation and this time, of all this uncertainty maybe influenced the sound that we could be expecting on the Dead Register song? Because when I first heard Dead Register, I was just like, yeah, this could be a soundtrack to a movie based on the times that we're living in. I feel like this musically, not even just lyrically, but the music itself, I feel like is really representative of what a lot of people are feeling at the time. So has maybe this time of isolation maybe influenced what the next Dead Register album could sound like?
I guess most of the songs on the forthcoming album were completed before these times. But that being said, yes, it definitely, the sound is congruent with these times, non-intentionally.
Yeah, well, Don't Fail Me was actually written in 2020, and we created our little puppet show video in isolation in 2020. So, I think, I mean, look at us. We've become two-dimensional in a course of a year.
Well,
yeah. So, oh, go ahead, please.
Oh no, everybody's been two-dimensional now. Everybody's been interacting on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like this being that you wrote the music for the new album a little bit earlier, is what we're going to hear on this new album maybe how these songs were originally written, or did these songs maybe change a lot over a span of time?
Some of them pretty much are what they were written to be and haven't gone through any changes. I mean, others have gone through probably about 30 iterations and different names, and have been a part of some different other songs that we've ditched. So, it's a mix, definitely a mix.
Are you ever worried that the songs
That being said,
Oh, yeah, you were saying?
Oh,
no, I was just gonna.
Oh, just you first.
Fucking Zoom. I was just worried that maybe like the song you leave out could be a B-side one day, just be the biggest hit you guys ever had.
Yeah, we have 6 that didn't make the record that we're still polishing up for the next record. That were, I feel, equally as strong as some of the songs on this record, but we wanted to limit the format to 22 minutes a side so we could press it to vinyl. double albums are too much for people to take in. They'll definitely carry over to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
They're super strong songs, and if we end up having to delay putting this record out, I mean, it might be worth recording one or two more of those just as more standalone singles. Because, I mean, for us, since we can't at the moment tour on this album, we're just kind of sitting on it. For a small band like us, it's difficult to really move the units we need to move unless we're actually melting people's faces in person.
Yeah,
that's where we do our best damage.
Well, when this
absolutely. You can't feel the bass like hitting your gut if you're not in front of us.
Well, when this shit is over, when this godforsaken pandemic is over, you're gonna bring Dead Register to New York City, right?
Yes, please.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we're desperate for live music here.
Absolutely.
We're desperate to deliver said live music.
Yeah, it's to the point where I'm going to Guitar Center to watch people butcher Sweet Child O' Mine again.
No!
Okay, yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Yep, the 5 S's of death that you're not allowed to play on the guitar floor, and that's one of them.
What are the others?
Stairway to Heaven, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Sweet Home Alabama, and Smoke on the Water.
Oh, God. Oh. Whoo-wee!
That's it. That's rough. That's rough.
Yep.
Remember some sick guitar center riffs, son.
Yeah. It makes you go into that state like in Animal House where the guy's just playing the guitar on the stairs and you just want to take the guitar and smash it against the wall.
Yes.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Now, here comes the most difficult question about songwriting, because I want you both to answer this because I love getting a different answer every time. How do you know when a song is done?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, it's recorded. It's done. We're not messing with this anymore. Or sometimes it's like, we've been through this, the 50th iteration of this. This is done. This is just it.
It's as good as it's going to get.
It's not getting any better. And I guess some other times it's just like gut instinct. Like, hey, all right, this is cool. This feels good. It's done.
To get granular and technical, it's done when April takes the time to really flesh out her high synth textures.
Wow.
That's when I know it's done. When the vocals are done, we have the backing vocals if the song has them. When she sits alone for 3 hours in a room with a synthesizer going over the part over and over again to, I guess, sculpt a sound and then pick the accompaniment, then I would say theme. Yes?
Sure.
All right.
I guess that's a part of it too.
Fair enough. Put
the fancy little tweaks on everything.
Damn right. And I have 2 more questions for you, but going back to your relatively experimental sound, do you feel that maybe that's also representative? Do you all have like many different inspirations that you just channel into your music, and maybe that's why you kind of have in a way like a fairly experimental sound?
Yeah, I think between the 3 of us, our musical tastes are extraordinarily diverse, and we'll spend many hours in the van or practice space just ripping on each other for each other's horrible or not horrible taste in music.
Absolute judgment.
Oh, really?
I can't fucking believe that. That is terrible. You're a horrible person for listening to that.
I'm going to push you out of this van. God, stop it.
Oh, what do you have to say about the hybrid theory tattoo or the Disturbed tattoo?
I This has escaped me. What is this?
What?
Oh, the Linkin Park test.
I feel like I live in.
Tell me what to type in. There's a computer behind me, and I will one-handedly type this in.
Disturbed.
Hybrid tattoo?
Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park.
And that's a song?
Oh, wow. You're the first person who doesn't know what Hybrid Theory is. Wow,
No idea.
I'm genuinely surprised.
Sorry.
The look on my face is real. Okay. What?
All right.
Confusion does not compute.
I've heard the name. I've seen the logo next to a Tool sticker, a Salt Life sticker,
Salt Life,
Ain't Steered, and Linkin Park. I think that goes pretty well on a 91 Chevy S10. That's the aesthetics is there. Orally, I just does not compute.
This is awesome. And the final question I wanted to ask you is you guys are based out of Atlanta right now, right? Is that where the band originally formed?
Yes. We are from Atlanta.
And there's
I'm an Atlanta native. He's not.
Well, I just know that the music scene in Atlanta is completely thriving. I mean, before this pandemic, obviously. I heard that there's a lot of great local bands out there and, obviously a lot of big names as well. Is there kind of like a scene that Dead Register has always been associated with the Atlanta, Georgia scene? Or is the goal for Dead Register to kind of go outside your state lines a little bit more at this point?
I mean, our goal is definitely to expand as far as we can possibly expand. It's 2020 was supposed to be a huge touring year for us, and that didn't happen. We invested in a brand new tour van and everything. As far as this scene in Atlanta, I think because we just have a lot of heaviness in our music that we tend to play with like a lot of metal bands and be associated, in that type of crowd and genre. But there's, I guess, a sense of like, I would say gothiness, but in a sense that goth people don't think we're goth. The people who aren't goth think we're goth.
that
people who aren't heavy metal are like, I like your heavy metal band, man. And heavy metal people are like, you guys don't shred. You guys don't shred at all.
You don't
There's
like
no shreds.
There's no blast beats. Like
there are blast beats, believe it or not.
Oh, there's like one. There's one. Two? Okay.
There are
we have
1, 2 blast beats.
That was good.
But my mouth didn't move.
Well, that you have the damned if you do, damned if you don't aspect. I think to the heavy metal crowd, you guys are like, are very like, you guys are almost like Cher, but to the non-metal crowd, you guys are like Emperor. So. Yeah.
I missed the last thing you said because we're laughing so hard. We're like Cher to heavy metal,
but
and
Emperor to not heavy metal.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So before we go
but
on,
yeah,
you were saying
as far as when we're not playing last, i.e. headlining at shows, when we help support touring bands, we pair well with black metal and doom metal and indie rock and goth pop, and it's our sound seems to work very well and wins audiences that wouldn't normally be in front of us over. Mm-hmm. We work really hard to make a really poignant and impactful live show.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the best thing about Dead Register is that I can't pigeonhole this band. I think like this is going to appeal not to just multiple music fans, but I think also multiple generations as well. I think that there's not an acquired taste to get onto Dead Register. I think anybody can get on board.
Absolutely. Like I specifically, I don't set out to do too much specifically when I'm writing, except to make what I hear in my ear as timeless music.
Yeah.
So hopefully in 20 years, some kid's like, this is my favorite band. Have you heard of them? No? Well, wow. These albums have stood the test of time. I hope.
I don't think.
Yeah, my mom played our video to another one of her like 70-year-old friends in China or Hong Kong or somewhere, and they were like, I don't understand rock music at all, but I don't hate this.
That's wow. Is that a compliment?
You know.
Yeah.
Backhanded, but wonderful.
I guess, if your mom's 70-year-old friend who doesn't hate it, that's okay.
Yeah.
Also, please tell, before we go on, I'm sorry to steal the show. Please mention the puppet show in the classroom.
Oh, the puppet show in the class. Yes. I made a friend of mine who teaches a video class. I'm like, stop what you're doing right now, and you need to show our puppet show to your kids. And she did, and they immediately started doing a little reenactment, and she took a picture of it. So there's that.
Yes.
It's educational.
This is definitely, I think, the most unique interview I've ever done in my career. I've been doing these interviews now for 4 years. This is going to be a tough act to follow.
Damn straight.
Wild land.
Yeah.
We're just super happy to be here, and we're super happy that you've taken the time out of your day to chat with our hands.
Yeah. It's an honor. It's an honor. I love the music.
Sorry about the ums and ers.
And that led me to the final question. Before we go, is there just anything else with Dead Register you would like to promote? Like, obviously, thanks to the virus that shall not be named, obviously, shows aren't happening at the moment, but obviously we'll see you on the road quite a bit when shows do happen again. But can we maybe get like a live stream performance or new merch or more puppet shows to... did that just answer your question?
We have
so much new merch.
We have a lot of new merch, and we will be officially posting these new merches shortly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Delicious 1990s compact discs. This might not be. I mean, people are people.
Whatever.
People are people and have opinions, but. A friend of ours even made, which is congruent with our music video, made us Dead Register spent cowboy revolver bullet etched necklaces.
Those are pretty badass.
Which is crazy.
Those are pretty badass. I kind of want one.
They're coming soon. New shirts, stickers, CDs, and we're in the throes of discussing a few more live streams that we're going to do in the upcoming months.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much.
Possibly even having a hand in a Blast Beats and Brews live stream festival too. So
Blast Beats and Brews.
In
like
discussion.
Well, thank you all so much. Everybody, we are here with Dead Register. Don't Fail Me EP out now. Be sure to check it out. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.